You know, it's hard for women to really embrace their beauty, especially after they've gone through some trials and tribulations in life. But this retreat just opens the possibilities, back up the possibilities that we had when we were children to that beauty.
And her beauty is alluring. And so it just kind of shows the soft side of God that is not present in my daily life. I have a lot of strong women in my life, and she is so beautifully open. And so seeing her give analogies of the garden and of dancing and of God being her partner, her strong partner, is just kind of a new side of God for me.
Oh, it was more than what I expected. Absolutely more. It touched an inner part of me that sometimes is never awakened until something like this happens. And then it brings it to light, and I remember, and I say, oh, that's who I was.
So, and I just feel like I got so much out of what Lee was saying and speaking about. It was such a wonderful reminder of who we are in Christ and who we really are and who we need to be.
And it made me realize how my ability to love was so limited. So when she talked about the little princess and how she was a good girl, but her heart was small, and how there was this process of expanding the heart that God wanted, I feel like, you know, it helped make things make sense.
And the beautiful thing about this purification process that seems so hard and so tragic when you're in the midst of it is that it really does enlarge your heart, especially when you're with other people and you're hearing their stories and you're hearing the familiar patterns, and you realize it's actually good. And when you can stand towards the end of that process and look back and you think, A, I made it, and B, I'm glad I made it. I'm glad that he did this. This was a beautiful thing. This was the kindest thing he could have done for me, is to take my world, turn it upside down, and say, no longer are you going to be the obedient daughter. I'm going to teach you how to be the beloved daughter through this process.
And Lee she just amazes me. God has given her a gift of words, and she uses them powerfully, and they're weighty, and I can't stop writing. I can't keep up with her. I had to go up and ask, what did you say? Can I have that again? Because I need that. And her glory just really is in her words, and I just could sit and listen to her speak all day.
And what is a message that God has given me is that it's not over. Your adventure isn't over. However, you need to do some things so that you are ready for what I have for you. And listening to Lee's story of her 3.5 years of pain, it encourages me, it inspires me. And so I want more. I want more of Jesus. He continues to reveal himself in so many ways. And I know that those desires of my heart, which started so many years ago, are becoming to come to fruition. And that we aren't too old, we're never too old to say yes to the adventure.
It's just been phenomenal for me. I feel like I've been getting a lot of healing in this time. There was a part where I think in the past 6 months, I kind of forgot how to have a dialogue with the Lord again. I forgot how much He's longing to have a conversation with me and to let me know how much I'm loved. And
I came because my story has been stuck in pause, like a video on pause for the last several years. And when I came, I knew that God would be here and He would meet me, but I had no idea all the work that Lee and Gary and Misty had done to prepare for us to walk into this setting. From Lee's words that it began in the garden, and we began when we walked into this beautiful garden. And just the surroundings of this garden pierced our hearts and opened us up to hear the words that Lee would speak to us. From the beginning of the shimmering self that is a reflection of His glory that gets lost somewhere. And all through our lives, we have to keep coming back to finding that shimmering self. But Lee's words so took us on the journey and helped us to find the place where we are a part of the story, and the kingdom, the fate of the kingdom rests on our courage, whether we will find the courage to step into the role that he's called us to. So the storyline and the streaming and the finding our hearts through the music and the film clips, and Misty's story helping us to find our story as we began each of the streaming exercises, all of it together has taken me out of pause and set me back on the white horse with my sword to ride in with courage to my part of the kingdom.